There's a belief that quietly shapes how many women shop for clothing, that the finest garments are made from pure fibers, 100% cashmere, 100% silk, 100% wool, and anything that blended is somehow a compromise, a lesser choice, a concession to cost. It's an understandable assumption, but it's also incomplete. Some of the most refined, best performing, and genuinely luxurious fabrics in the world are blends. Not because the individual fibers weren't good enough on their own, but because combining them creates something neither could achieve alone. Today, I want to show you what that actually looks like. Welcome back to Gracefully Lori. I'm Lori. If you're new here, this channel is for women who want to live authentically, express themselves with intention, and move through the world with quiet, modern grace. In a recent video, we walked through what to look for when shopping for quality fabrics and how fabric quality shapes the way clothing looks, feels, and holds up over time. At the end of that video, I asked whether you'd like to go deeper into blends specifically, and many of you said yes. This video is the answer to that request. If you have not seen the first video, the fabric details that make clothes look expensive, I will link it in the video description below and provide a link at the end of this video for you. What we're covering today isn't fabric as compromise, it's fabric as engineering. The strategic combinations that designers reach for when they want a garment to perform beautifully, to drape with purpose, hold its shape, feel refined against the skin, and continue looking elevated after years of wear. We'll look at 10 blends across 3 categories, each one worth understanding before your next investment purchase. What makes fabric look and feel expensive? If you watched the previous video in this series, you already know what to look for in fabrics, so consider this a brief reminder. If you're new to this conversation, this will give you the foundation you need. 5 things separate fabric that looks and feels expensive from fabric that doesn't. Fiber length. Longer fibers produce smoother, stronger, more refined yarn. They pill less, hold their surface integrity longer, and feel more luxurious against the skin. This is why long staple cotton, high-grade cashmere, and fine merino wool command a premium, and why you feel the difference immediately when you handle them. Weight and drape. Quality fabric has substance. It moves with purpose rather than floating or clinging arbitrarily. When you hold it, it has a presence in your hand. When you wear it, it falls in a way that flatters rather than fights the body. Feel. The way a fabric feels against your skin tells you something immediately. Natural fibers and high-quality engineered fibers feel smooth, soft, or textured in ways that feel intentional. Synthetic blends of lesser quality often feel slightly rough, plasticky, or simply flat against the skin. Structure. Quality fabric holds its shape. It looks as considered at the end of a long day as it did at the beginning. It doesn't bag at the knees, sag at the elbows, or lose its silhouette after a few hours of wear. Surface integrity. Hold your fabric up to the light. The weave should be tight and uniform. Grab and release the fabric. A fabric that already shows stress from that quick movement will show considerably more after regular wear. These are the factors we look for. And as you'll see, the right blend, engineered thoughtfully, achieves all 5. Sometimes more effectively than a pure fiber could on its own. So, category 1, structural luxury. The first category is one of the most closely associated with quiet, undeniable quality. These are the blends that give clothing its backbone, the combinations that create garments with real presence, fabrics that drape with purpose rather than simply hanging, that hold their shape throughout the day rather than losing it by noon, that feel as good at the end of an evening as they did at the beginning. What makes them work is the same principle that makes most elegant things work. Not one thing in isolation, 2 things in conversation. Wool and cashmere. Cashmere alone is extraordinary. The softness is incomparable, the warmth immediate. But pure cashmere has a vulnerability. It can be delicate. It sometimes lacks the structure to hold a garment's shape over time. It pills more readily than you'd have hoped from something you've invested in. Wool brings what cashmere needs: structure, resilience, the kind of quiet backbone that allows a coat or a sweater to maintain its form rather than slowly surrendering it. Together, they produce something neither achieve on its own: the softness of cashmere held in place by the integrity of wool, warmth without heaviness, drape with purpose, and significantly better resistance to pilling, which means the garment keeps its refined finish for years rather than seasons. Even a blend with 10 to 20% cashmere changes the character of a wool garment noticeably. You feel it the moment you put it on. Look for this combination in your investment pieces: a winter coat, a classic crew neck, an elegant wrap. These are the garments that quietly elevate everything around them. Silk and wool. If wool cashmere is the embodiment of quiet luxury, silk wool is refined authority. Silk brings its liquid drape, its subtle luster, the way it moves against the body without clinging. Wool gives the fabric structure, weight, a beautiful depth that silk alone cannot achieve. The result has a complexity that's difficult to replicate. It's not shiny in the way synthetics are. It has a soft, lit from within glow that catches light as you move but never announces itself. A silk wool blazer holds the clean lines of its tailoring while moving with you rather than against you. It looks structured, it feels graceful. You'll find this blend in high-end suiting, refined dresses, and elevated blouses. When you see it on a label, the fabric itself is the statement. Nothing else needs to compete with it. Wool and mohair. Mohair, sourced from the Angora goat, brings something distinct to a blend. Its luster is remarkable. Its signature halo gives garments a softness of focus that's immediately recognizable. And it has a surprising resilience that holds up beautifully over time. Blended with wool, the result is warm without being heavy, textural without being overwhelming, and naturally crease resistant in a way that keeps garments looking considered throughout the day. A wool mohair coat or sweater has a visual depth that reads as quietly sophisticated. It's the kind of piece that draws attention without demanding it. Category 2, fluid drape and sheen. The second category moves differently. Where structural blends give clothing its backbone, these give it its movement. They're the fabrics that flow, that catch light gracefully, that create the kind of silhouette that seems to exist in conversation with the body rather than simply covering it. The principle here isn't structure, it's fluidity, engineered to behave beautifully in motion. Silk and cotton. Silk and cotton is a partnership built on balance. Silk brings its characteristic drape and its subtle, elegant sheen. Cotton brings breathability, structure, and a durability that pure silk doesn't always offer. The result is a fabric that feels luxurious and soft against the skin, but holds its shape more reliably and wears more practically across seasons. The luster is quiet rather than high, a soft glow rather than a shine, which is precisely what makes it so versatile. A silk cotton blouse or dress moves beautifully without requiring the careful handling that pure silk demands. Linen and viscose. Linen has its own irreplaceable elegance, the breathability, the natural texture, the relaxed sophistication of a fabric that has been trusted for centuries. But pure linen has a limitation. Its drape can be crisp in ways that don't always serve a fluid silhouette. Viscose changes that. Made from wood pulp, it brings a silk-like fluidity and softness that softens the linen's sometimes frigid character. The result moves with a grace that pure linen rarely achieves. Natural and airy, but with a polished, flowing quality that suits blouses, wide-leg trousers, and summer dresses beautifully. Viscose and silk. This blend is pure movement. Viscose is already prized for its drape and its soft silk-like feel. When real silk is added, the fabric's natural sheen deepens and its fluidity becomes extraordinary. The result is a fabric designed for pieces that are meant to flow, that catch light softly as you move and create a liquid silhouette that reads as quietly chic. A dress or blouse in viscose silk moves beautifully. The sign is subtle, never garish, always considered. It's the kind of fabric that makes a simple silhouette look like a deliberate choice. Cupro blends. Cupro deserves its own moment. It's a regenerated cellulose fiber made from ultrafine fibers left on the cottonseed after processing. which means it carries cotton's breathability while behaving with the smooth, flowing quality of silk. It's cool to the touch, exceptionally soft against the skin, and drapes with a subtlety that feels genuinely luxurious. Often blended with viscose or elastane for enhanced performance, 𝐸 produces a fabric with a peachy soft feel and a quiet sheen that elevates everything it touches. When you see it on a label, what you're holding will feel like considerably more than the price actually suggests. Category 3. The third category is perhaps the most quietly useful of the three. These are the blends that elevate the everyday, not the statement coat or the occasion dress, but the pieces that form the foundation of a working wardrobe. The shirt worn to a meeting, the trousers that carry you from morning to evening, the essentials that, in lesser fabrics, feel simply like that. What these blends share is the ability to take something foundational and make it perform at a higher level than it has any right to: cotton and linen. Pure linen is one of the most elegant warm weather fabrics available, but its tendency to wrinkle dramatically and almost immediately creates a practical challenge for women who need to look thoughtful throughout the day. Cotton solves that. Blended with linen, cotton softens the texture, improves the drape, and significantly reduces the wrinkling that pure linen can't help. The result retains linen's breathability and its natural, relaxed sophistication, but holds its shape with more reliability. Wide leg trousers, shirts that stay crisp, effortless summer dresses. This is the blend that makes those pieces actually work in real life. Cotton and Tencel. Tencel, the brand name for lyocell, is a sustainable fiber made from wood pulp in a closed loop process. It's known for its softness, its elegant drape, and its ability to move with the body rather than against it. It feels smoother than cotton alone and hangs more beautifully. Blended with cotton, it elevates the category of garments that are often overlooked: the turtleneck, the layering piece, the simple shirt that forms the base of an outfit. The cotton provides the familiar breathability and structure. The Tencel adds a luxurious smoothness and a fluidity that makes the piece hang rather than cling. These are the foundational layers that look and feel more intentional than they have any right to. Cotton and modal. Modal, derived from pulp of beech trees, shares Tencel's exceptional softness, but brings its own particular qualities. It resists shrinking, it holds color beautifully, and it adds a silky drape to cotton that makes even the simplest garments feel more considered. A cotton modal blend feels gentle against the skin, moves well, and gives everyday pieces a polish that standard cotton doesn't achieve. The t-shirt that drapes elegantly rather than clinging. The simple knit that looks intentional rather than convenient. These are the details that separate a wardrobe that works from one that simply exists. So, a blend isn't a compromise. It's a conversation between two fibers, each contributing what the other lacks and producing something neither could achieve alone. Structure and softness, drape and resilience, fluidity and form. The next time you're holding a garment and the label reveals a blend, that information isn't a warning. It's an invitation to understand what you're actually holding and why it might be exactly what you're looking for. That's not settling, that's fabric intelligence. So, which of these blends surprised you most? Or which do you already reach for in your own wardrobe? I'd love to know in the comments. I read everyone. And if you found this valuable, please like the video. It helps other women find content that might be meaningful for them too. Until next time, my graceful friends.